And folks, we are back. Sorry for the little bit, I guess you could say the little bit of delay, if you will, but we are back. Had a couple of guys go in and make a couple of pit stops. But right now, at the front right now, is the animal Keith Bradley. At this point in the race, Robbie Richards about a half a second behind Keith Bradley right now. Justin White in third, Phil Pappas fourth, Ted Wade in fifth. Wade, um, excuse me, has dropped off just a little bit, about 4 seconds back to the animal Keith Bradley. As Wade's actually going to slip that number 32 entry, slide it straight into the pits right here. As we're going to see Phil Pappas as well in the 85 entry. He will go down pit road as well. This is all according to plan as far as going into the pits here at Kansas. Once again, we want to thank every single one of you for tuning in here tonight for the C.O.P.S Truck Series Week 6 here at Kansas Speedway. Very, very outstanding race, if you will. And, you know, some folks may be looking at this going, well, you know, it's been boring. We haven't seen the action. We haven't seen the wrecks. Well, folks, I'm telling you, sooner or later they're going to happen for some of you folks that love to see the action, love to see the beating and the banging or whatever. Uh, we got a feeling it's coming sooner or later because we know how it is. I mean, you know, you folks, you know, you've tuned in for the past 5 weeks. You see when, you know, a caution is just going to come out and then, you know, basically all hell breaks loose. So it's possible that it will happen. It's happened 5 weeks in a row. Uh, I don't see that happening any different from like I said, what has happened past 5 weeks. And you know, folks, we've had like I said, a great season so far. Next week, after they get done here at Kansas, the Conservative Police Survivors Truck Series, we will go back to Daytona where this whole bad boy started. Except we're going to go to the Daytona International Speedway road course. Going to throw a kind of a wrench in it, I guess you could say. Throw a road course right there, smack dab in the middle of the regular season. Right after the Daytona road course, we'll have Rockingham Speedway, which will be a dandy in itself, and one track that I am very much looking forward to. And then the race after Rockingham is another one that I am really looking forward to. More or less, I guess you could say, a home track for me. I know I'm not in the state of Alabama. I know I'm in Rome, Georgia, but Talladega Super Speedway, that's going to be on September the 15th. That'll be the race right after Rockingham. So really want to tune in for that bad boy. Then you got Lucas Oil and the All-Star race at Charlotte. That's the schedule for the next couple of weeks. So, folks, make sure that you tune in to the races coming up. Make sure you tune in to the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, and also tune in to Sim Racer Hub truck series that is on Monday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern time as well. And don't forget the Hot Lap podcast with Brady LaBeouf and Tyler Dittmer. Get the scoop on everything that's going on in Nazareth. But up front, we had some pit stops that has just happened as Bradley and Robbie Richards, they had just slid down to pit road. Go ahead and get those trucks serviced, get some gas in them, get some tires on them. It's now Justin White, who led that lap. Now he's going to jump down pit road. And Kyle Hess is actually going to cycle out to the lead right now. Get him some extra points, if you will. Blake Lothian, Adam Newton in the 82 entry. He's going to be third. Justin White, just mentioned him. He is on pit road right now. Gonna wait and see what happens right here as we got Kyle Hess. Looks like he is dumping it down on the bottom of the racetrack. So Kyle Hess is going to go into pits. Almost looked like he almost got tagged by Brandon Bullock. And, you know, folks, really hard for some of these guys to get on pit road. I mean, you call it out, you know, because, you know, I've been in the same situation that some of these guys have been in. call it out right there, even going into turn 3. Hey, I'm going into the pits. And then just, somebody's already coming full speed down on the bottom of the racetrack. You just got to time it right. You got to be able to jump down. As Brandon Bullock, who almost got into that driver. Wow, Bullock spinning, going on the pit road. He's going to be slipping sideways on the racetrack. No caution yet on the speedway. As Brandon Bullock, our leader, slips just a little bit, slides going into the pit lane. Cinnamon's going to retake the lead right here. The Canadian, number 3 entry, Chris Cinnamon. He's going to be back up at the front. Chris Cinnamon for Up Front Motorsports, leading them here at Kansas. And check out Ashley Dodson. Started 19th all the way up to 2nd. Ashley Dodson in the 88 from Mission 1 Esports. And Stephen Thomas looks like he may slide right past Ashley Dodson right here. And, Brady, you talked about this just a second ago. You talked about that they may have to make an extra pit stop. Do you think maybe that's what Ashley just did right there? Just kind of just let Steven go right there? Do you think that's what that all was?
I think so. I mean, man, I wish I was in some of the team communications. I wish I was actually racing tonight. But no, I wish we knew some more details on that. Like I said, I believe this final run, the way it's set up, they're going to have to make multiple pit stops. And I know we had some difficulties tonight with the broadcast. We apologize for that, but yeah, to tune back in, everybody's off. Like you're seeing different pit strategies. You're seeing people go to the front, then pit, newcomers taking tires, taking fuel only. So it was either this or no show at all. So we at least wanted to get the guys on camera tonight, Jacob. So we'll have to keep an eye on and see how the times go, and then see how the fall off is with who took tires and who didn't.
And looks like, Ashley Dodson sliding back a little bit. Pappas got by him. Now Wade looking to get by him. Bradley looking to get past both of them. 3 wide, shoved Dodson all the way to the top. Wade stuck in the middle as Bradley's going to go around him. Richards is going to go around him. I'm telling you, you might see some of these guys have really who used their tires right here and who did not take those tires right here. As Dodson, last lap, 32.9. Bradley, 31.6, sitting in the 4th spot. Cinnamon, he popped the 32.7 that last lap. Stephen Thomas, 32.3. Pappas, 31.9. So you're seeing, like Brady said, folks, you're seeing the different strategies that are coming into play. You see some guys a little bit faster. You see some guys slipping, sliding just a little bit back. Some guys maybe trying to jump up there, get the extra fuel, I guess, or save a set of tires or whatever. Because it's like I said, folks, anything can and will happen here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. And here comes Bradley starting to make a little bit of a push, if you will, running that 31.6 that last lap. Pappas ran a 32.2, so Bradley right up on the tailgate as Thomas takes the lead. Cinnamon all the way to the top. Bradley going to stuff them 3 wide off of turn number 2. They're going to keep it 3 wide. Pappas stuck in the middle, right in the middle like a hot dog in a bun. Cinnamon all the way to the top. Bradley's going to get the old twofer, maybe even get the old threefer as here he goes past Stephen Thomas. Now Richards all the way to the bottom, down to the white line. Bradley able to block that advance, folks. Here's the action that we was waiting for as Bradley gets around. He's going to lead that lap, but not by much, as Robbie Richards is going to be right behind him in that number 48. Really starting to put the pressure on his teammate, the animal Keith Bradley. Pappas going to slip back just a little bit, still running the top side. Cinnamon right behind him. But Thomas trying to see if he can hang on to third. He's sliding back just a little bit as here comes Pappas. He's going to get up to the right rear of Stephen Thomas. And Pappas, like I said, folks, we talked about him, won at Milwaukee. He sounded like, I mean, you know, he was ecstatic, if you will, just absolutely fired up when he got that win, knowing 100% that he's not going to have to worry about anything, making sure, you know, that he knows he is going to at least race for a championship, at least be in that first round. But, you know, with the wins, with the stages, you know, the points, everything else, everything can help him better himself and be able to get farther and farther in the playoffs. And all that takes is momentum. And with that one win that he got at Milwaukee, it's just like a light switch, basically, or basically just flipped. And that BP Racing for Autism truck right there in that 85 entry, it just like a snap finger, just like that, snapped. And here he is running third. You know, even at Vegas, we didn't see him have a lot of speed, if you will. New Hampshire seemed like he didn't have a lot of speed, if you will. But then it's out of nowhere, Milwaukee, bam, there he was, won the race. Iowa was running up front, you know, and ran good at Iowa. Now here he is at Kansas running third right here with 30 laps to go. Now 29 laps to go. Excuse me, folks. 29 laps to go now. Pappas sitting in third, but right now Mission 1 Esports has a stranglehold on this. I guarantee you right now, Mr. Brady the Buff has got to be loving this with two drivers right here leading here at Kansas. And, you know, Brady, I mean, you know, what do you think? I mean, you got Bradley, you got Richards, both of them running up front right now. I mean, you got to love your chances to possibly, you know, have a driver win this bad boy.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's always good to see, you know, you guys running up front, especially the team points. You know, a lot of people don't know about the team points. So, you know, top 15 get team points, and it starts, you know, with first place getting 15 points all the way down to 15th getting 1 point. So, you know, right here, when you got a guy running first and a guy running second, that's 29 points, and that's huge whenever, you know, you got a tight battle against teams like Upfront Motorsports, Sick With It, you know, Sick With It Motorsports, that is, Highline Racing, BP Racing for Autism, Warrior Racing Esports, Depth Racing. A lot of heavy hitters in here, you know, with the whole team aspect of it. So, yeah, I mean, you know, the show's not over. Like you said, we got 29, 28 laps left. I'm pretty sure they're going to have to do another pit stop. And you know as well as I do, Jacob, when you got to make those green flag pit stops and the pressure's on, mistakes happen, right? So it's going to be interesting to see who can make it, you know, off and on pit road pretty clean and you know, keep this track position and fairly clean race we've seen, you know, all night long from these guys. As it looked like, I don't know if that looked like Keith Bradley got in a wall right there. He did get in the
What?
wall. So yeah, the momentum's going to go to Robbie Richards right here. A big mistake by Keith Bradley getting into the wall right there, Jacob.
And, you know, folks, and Pete or Brady as well. I mean, we talked about that just a second ago. That's what that top line will do. It will get, or granted, it will get you some speed. But talking to Justin White a while ago about saving that right front, you can burn that right front up more running that top with as much momentum as you're having, with as much speed as you're having. As you see exactly what happened, believe Bradley might have jumped the cushion, if you will, for some of you dirt fans out there, jumped the cushion just a little bit, slid it up into the fence, and that was all that Robbie Richards needed. But now Richards got to be able to pace himself. He knows he's got the lead right here. Got to pace himself. Got to see if he can keep that number 48 out front and be able to keep the lead right here as Bradley still, even though he threw it in the fence, still, I guess you could say, playing with that top lane. Still trying to get that top lane back working right here. But Richards really looks like Robbie's real content on running that bottom of the racetrack. As wow, get very close to that turn 4 wall. And folks, you know, you know, that would be my weak point. I've ran a lot of races here at Kansas. To be honest with you, it's not my forte of a racetrack. I mean, granted, some people will think, oh, mile and a half, whatever. But each track has its own characteristics. Each track's got its own uh, specialties, if you will. And it seems like for me, every single time I've ran Kansas, that turn four wall is very, very detrimental to me. It kills me every single time because for some reason or another, it doesn't matter what I drive. The truck, the B Open Xfinity car, or the next gen car, it just slides straight up to the fence, and I end up getting into the turn four wall every single time. Turn two, it is what it is, but turn four, it seems like to me, it kills me every single time. But I'll say this, that little bit of damage that Keith Bradley had didn't seem like it hurt him that much as he slipped past Robbie Richards now. You see team orders going down pit road right here. Keith Bradley, Robbie Richards. They're going to jump it down to pit road. Justin White, he's going to stay out on the racetrack and be the leader. Phil Pappas, one of those drivers, also went in. Thomas stays out. Kyle Hess is going to jump down pit road. Adam Newton going to stay out, as well as Zach Hartwick. So here comes that final green flag pit stop, if you will. Want to keep a huge or want to keep an eye right now on the three of Chris Cinnamon. Saw him up front there for a little bit. Cinnamon a lap down right now in that 16th spot right now, started 8th. So want to keep eye on Cinnamon. Cinnamon may have went in early, went in and got those 4 fresh tires. As right now his lap time's still looking consistent. Looked like he really doesn't have any damage on the truck, but he went down that last lap 31.441. So really starting to put on some speed, if you will, for that number 3 entry of Chris Cinnamon. Huck Wigginton's down pit road, as well as Kyle Hess, among others. Dana Shepard, some of these guys that have stayed out. Good run by Dana Shepard tonight. Started 16th all the way up to 5th. Brandon Bullock has clawed his way back to 6th. We saw him a while ago slip slide going on pit road. Had to get the truck straightened out. Now here he is running 6th. And some of these guys might be staying out running long as Stephen Thomas is on pit road. But some of these guys may end up thinking to try to run a little bit long. May get that caution out of nowhere that might really shake this race up here tonight at Kansas. But folks, remember, if you win tonight, you are locked into the playoffs. Looks like that's what Justin White's trying to do, as he leads right now with Zach Hartwick 2nd. Newton's down pit road. Shepard's going to stay out. He's going to move up to 3rd. And Stephen Thomas, some of these other guys, way back in the field. Let's see if they can slip on up through here and get something going. But really need to watch this battle right here with the 29 of Keith Bradley and Robbie Richards. They're sitting 6th and 7th. They're a lap down right now to the leader because the leaders have not pitted yet. And Chris Cinnamon has actually joined this battle as well, right behind Keith Bradley and Robbie Richards. So when everything cycles through, as Newton is coming off of pit road right now, Hartwick's in the pits. Shepard's still out there right now. Justin White's still out there as well. So Bradley, Richards, Cinnamon, this might be the race for the win right here. As folks, we're on lap 134 of 150 right now. About 17 laps to go here in the race here tonight at Kansas. And folks, we want to thank you for sticking around through some of the mishaps that we've had, some of the technical difficulties that we have had. We want to thank every single one of you for sticking around with us and inviting us, I guess you could say, inviting us into your homes this evening here on this Friday night to get the weekend kicked off right here with the C.O.P.S Truck Series here at Kansas. So we thank every single one of our viewers. Thank you every single week for tuning in, cheering on your favorite drivers. Some guys maybe even cheering on a family member that's out here racing here tonight. Really, really love the fans, love everybody involved here at Nazareth, and especially for the C.O.P.S Truck Series and the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series that runs on Monday nights. But right now, still waiting right now, Justin White and these guys. As you see White, he is going down pit road, was right smack dab in front of Keith Bradley, Robbie Richards in tow. And don't count out Phil Pappas, as he's right here behind these guys trying to see if he can slip up here and steal one here at Kansas. Not necessarily steal one, I guess you could say. We've seen Pappas win, obviously, at Milwaukee. But here he is putting a little bit of pressure now, as he's right here on the back bumper of the two Mission 1 Esports drivers. Shepard has stayed out. Justin White now starting to get off of pit road. As Bradley and the rest of them, they slip by him now on the Speedway. And Jacob Klinkart 1 lap down right now up here racing with Robbie Richards. Klinkart, we've seen him. He was actually our Stage 2 winner. Now he's a lap down, sitting in that 21st spot. But obviously he's sitting there waiting to get back on the lead lap. May have to get back up here and try to get around the animal Keith Bradley, as Richards will go to second. Bradley will go to the lead now on timing and scoring. So Bradley has the lead. Richards second. Pappas third. Cinnamon fourth. Blake Lothian is fifth right now. So you got two Toyotas leading this bad boy. Pappas in a Chevrolet. Cinnamon in a Ford. And Lothian in a Toyota as well. And I'll be honest with you, you know, Toyotas, Fords, whatever. I personally, folks, I'm a Chevrolet guy, but, you know, good to see all manufacturers, if you will, being represented right here in the top 5. As looks like Bradley has opened up just a little bit, about a half a second lead on Robbie Richards, coming to 10 to go right here. Pappas back there running in that 3rd spot, trying to hang on to it. Cinnamon trying to see if he can claw his way back up here. Maybe have a shot at a podium finish on Phil Pappas. Richards still running second. Bradley trying to work around the lap traffic of Jacob Klinkart. Klinkart trying to get back on the lead lap. He would be the lucky dog right now, should a caution come out on the Speedway. And folks, I know we keep saying caution, 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 caution. It'd be nice to see a caution right now on the Speedway, jumble this field back up, and have a crazy finish. Brady, I know you are not real keen, I guess you could say, for that caution to come out, because you got 2 guys on the team leading right now. But right now, Keith Bradley, Robbie Richards really showing them how to do it.
Now, Phil Pappas is making a run at it, Jacob. I mean, he's passing Robbie Richards. It looked like Robbie was pushing a little bit too hard, wearing his stuff out, trying to keep up with Keith. But Phil Pappas, man, he is putting on a show for us this late race, you know, run right here. I mean, he's going into turn 1 right here. Like you said, there's about, what, 8-7 laps left. And I think he's going to get to Keith. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to pass him or not, Jacob, but it looks like he's, you know, he's picking him off. And I think he's about a 10th or 2 faster than Keith right now.
Yeah, he was that last lap, Brady. Good point. Last lap, he actually Pappas in the fence as soon as you say it. Brady, honestly, I think you get the commentator's curse like I get right there. As Phil Pappas was really starting to put the pressure down, try to get to Keith Bradley, but that might have been all she wrote right there for Pappas. But we've seen what can happen as you know, Keith Bradley got in the fence as well, and then he just motored right past Robbie Richards. But Phil Pappas going to slip back to that 3rd spot. Really no pressure behind Pappas, so Pappas can really start to push it back and try to see if he can get that number 85 Chevrolet back up here, try to get back to Robbie Richards. But he's got a long ways to go. He's over a second back from Robbie Richards and a second back from Keith Bradley, being Robbie Richards, as we are coming to 5 laps to go, folks. And really the only cautions that we have had tonight has been the stage cautions that we have seen here at Kansas. Really been clean, and it's been green here at Kansas. 5 laps to go, as Jacob Klinkart still right behind the animal Keith Bradley. They're starting to reel in on Jeffrey Sickles. 27th to 19th. Good run for Jeffrey, moving up a couple of spots. He's the last truck on the lead lap, but Keith Bradley's still trying to get away from Klinkart. Pappas might be in a little bit of trouble, as I believe when he got in the fence, that might have hurt him a little bit more than it did Bradley when Bradley got in the fence. So Richard's trying to find a way to try to run down Bradley, but looks like Bradley may be scooting away with this bad boy. Bradley still has the lead. Richards still second. Pappas, Justin White, we talked to him, stage 1 winner. Justin White really doing a good job right here, keeping that bad boy inside the top 5. And Stephen Thomas as well. Started 26, started in the back, had a penalty. Stephen Thomas all the way up to 5th. Chris Cinnamon 6th, Lothian 7th. Ted Wade 8th, Raul Meza, one of those big movers, if you will, 28th to 9th. Ashley Dodson from Mission 1 Esports, 19th to 10th. So Cody Knott, another driver we haven't really talked about. Cody Knott, one of the producers, I guess you could say, running full-time here for the C.O.P.S Truck Series, 23rd to 13th. So big deal for him. James Morris, for some of the fans, for James Morris, started on the pole back in 17th spot. But right now, 2 to go. It looks like this is Keith Bradley's race. And, didn't have a real good race at the Milwaukee Mile. Done a little bit of, done some good things. Won a stage at Milwaukee. But now here he comes. White flag is in the air for the animal Keith Bradley. Last season's champion. Like I said, won at Milwaukee, won at New Hampshire earlier this season. It looks like he's fixing to get his 2nd win of the season, as Bradley goes into turn 3 and 4 all the way to the top of the racetrack. And for week 6 here at Kansas, your winner, the animal, Keith Bradley. Looks like he kind of let some of them guys go right there, maybe trying to battle for a position, but Keith Bradley gets the job done. Robbie Richards gets 2nd. Justin White actually got around Phil Pappas. Pappas, remember, got in the fence a while ago. Pappas will get 4th. Stephen Thomas rounds out the top 5 with Chris Cinnamon 6th, Lothian 7th, Ted Wade 8th, Raul Meza 9th, Taylor Peacock will round out the top 10. And, folks, very, very good finish right here, as it looks like Keith Bradley. Not real sure what's going on right here. Bradley might actually be out of fuel right here. Brady, he might have pushed the envelope as much as he possibly could, and was able to probably put a little bit of less gas in the truck, if you will, try to make that truck a little bit faster. But it looks like he's getting a little bit slow right here, unless he might be fooling us just a little bit. But
Yeah, he might have been no telling with Keith. He might have been saving just to do these burnouts right here.
Yep, Keith Bradley able to get the win, burning it down on the front stretch. And 1-2 finish right here from Mission 1 Esports, knowing that Brady LaBeouf is really loving that. Brady LaBeouf being the stand-in producer, I guess you could say, for tonight. And, folks, like I said, we've had a little bit of a hiccups, if you will, for the producing. But to be honest with you, Brady may have his 2nd calling, Brady. I think you may have your 2nd calling in producing, because you was able to make it 150 laps here at Kansas tonight, buddy.
I don't know about that, Jacob. I just wish we could have gotten the overlays working, so that would have been, a lot of the least of our worries, because it was hard for the viewers at home to keep up with everything, and they come out to watch their favorite driver, but we'll get back in the swing of things. People take vacations. It's the summer months. Everybody needs a break, so we'll get Adam Flieger and those boys back in the broadcast room, and I'll get back on the track where I belong. That's for sure.
Nah, man, you done it. Honestly, Brady, you done a hell of a job this evening with the broadcast. First time doing it here, folks, as well, I believe. Trying to get him lined up before this bad boy started, but awesome to get him out here. To get him to be able to broadcast this bad boy here tonight. So awesome to see some of these guys that was able to jump up here and be able to still put on a show for you, the fans, to be able to watch here tonight. Watch your favorite driver uh, go out here. Maybe your favorite driver was the animal Keith Bradley, who won the race here tonight. Maybe it was Robbie Richards who got second. Maybe it was Justin White that got third. And with those guys that I just mentioned, we're gonna pull some of them guys in the booth, give them a little shout out, let them talk, I guess you could say. As we're gonna bring in our third place driver, bring him in the booth. That is the number 2 entry tonight. That is Justin White. Justin White, this is Jake Reeves. Do you have a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
Well, Justin, winning stage 1, you talked about that right front tire. I mean, talk us through, I guess, the rest of the race because, honestly, you were one of my picks to win the race here tonight. What happened that just kind of made it go south and you weren't able to get the win? Still get a podium, but what kind of made it go south here tonight?
Well, stage 2 there, the number 1, Jacob Klinkar, he took 2, so there was no chance. That was a smart play on his part, taking 2 tires. But at the end, you can see where he struggled on the last stop there, or the last pit cycle there, because he didn't have any more tires left. So that's how he won that stage. And then coming to the third stage, I should have pitted like 7 laps earlier, because on 2 tires I was running 4 to 5 tenths faster than the leaders, and I should have just pitted 6 laps earlier, and I probably would have been right there at his bumper. So, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'll learn my lesson. Eventually, pit when I'm supposed to.
Well, and next week, we had 3 short tracks. We had, the Super Speedway at Daytona was week 1. Then we had a mile and a half at Vegas, and then we had 3 short tracks. We had New Hampshire, Milwaukee, Iowa. Then you had Kansas tonight, a mile and a half. Now we're fixing to go to a road course next week, the Daytona road course to be exact. Just tell us a little bit about this schedule. For the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series for season 7. Just tell us a little bit about the schedule and just how it's just wide open every single week.
Yeah, you've got to be on top of your game every single week. So we'll see how this rolls. Daytona Road Course, it's one of my more liked road courses. I'm not a rig road course guy, but if I have to drive it, I'll figure it out. And I've got some things to prove on road courses. So there was some controversy a little while ago, and I've got to back it up this year, and hopefully I can, and we'll see where it goes. But road courses are definitely not one of my. Well, I think we'll check this off. Circle that on the calendar. It's more like put an X through it and hope to God it doesn't show up.
And Justin, I've raced with you a couple times, and but I guarantee you right now, there's something that we have in common. Is I hate road courses probably worse than anybody in Nazareth. Period. I hate them probably worse than you do. But Justin White getting the third here tonight at Kansas. Justin, you got anybody or that you want to thank that made this possible here tonight, bud?
Yep, I want to shout out to our main sponsor, C.O.P.S. They come on board for 5 races. They told me to pick the 5. I picked my 5 strongest tracks, so that way I can get them, out up front. I know they're probably up front for being our main sponsor, but I figured I'm gonna put them on the truck and I'm gonna put it out front. That way, it's you guys are talking about it during the broadcast and get them guys a little bit of exposure, get them hooked on iRacing with us, and that way they'll keep returning and keep on sponsoring us in the future. And our secondary sponsor, Grinds, they helped me kick the chewing tobacco habit. I'm always going to give a shout out to them. Shout out to Nate Maurer for pushing me to get better on pit road. Appreciate you guys in the booth, taking your time to broadcast. I know you guys would rather be racing at some point. And then, of course, appreciate the admins, the board of directors, the whole executive crew of the league putting it on, dealing with a lot of child high school drama from time to time, but appreciate everybody. And then, of course, Huck, my teammate, the guy who also is also sponsored by C.O.P.S. Appreciate those guys too. And, and just it's appreciate everybody who puts the league on, basically. It's a big deal.
Absolutely. It is a big deal, and a big deal for you getting third here tonight at Kansas. Congratulations on that, Justin. We'll see you at Daytona next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And that was Justin White done. Outstanding job. Won stage one, got stage two right there. With Jacob Klinkart making the strategy call like he said a while ago. So being able to come out with some serious points right there, Justin White, able to pull it off here tonight. Now we're going to bring in the second driver in the booth right here. Brady, have you caught up with Robbie Richards?
I'm here.
Hey, you got me, Robbie?
I got you.
Hey, well, strong finish tonight, man. I know you, was hoping for one, and I know this fuel capacity kind of played into your favor. I know you run races elsewhere before where y'all ran 50 and 60, 75% fuel. So, you feel like you had a little bit of advantage over the rest of the field where they normally run 100%?
I'd say so a little bit. Previous leagues, this is something we've had to figure out over time. I mean, when I first done that, I was no good at saving fuel or even calculating the fuel, and with running it multiple times and figuring out trial and error, it helped out for tonight. For instances like tonight. So, yeah, I mean, I love these type of races where fuel, you can't just run the tank empty or save it to the stage or whatever. You got to actually do a little bit of thinking in it, and it played out in our favor tonight. We didn't qualify good, so that was, it's always been a struggle of mine qualifying, but you know coming in 14th to the pit when we first pitted for fuel and then come out and finish third in stage, I was like, man, I don't even know how I made that much ground up. um but with the fuel strategy, I guess it worked out great.
Yeah, well, we saw you pushing hard right there. I guess you kind of, from driver to driver, it kind of looked like you burnt your stuff up, racing with Keith there. We saw him get into the wall a little bit right there, and seemed like
Hmm.
you took the lead. And did you think that, you was gonna that damage that he was gonna have was gonna affect him enough for you to get by, or do you feel like you just burnt your stuff up right there pushing hard?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Keith's good at running, driving. He's good. When he got in the wall, I got around him. I knew he was going to do crossover and get back under me, so I thought maybe I would stay on the high line and take his line away. And I was able to stay in front of him for a minute. I got clear of him, and I went back to the bottom. I'd been running the bottom the whole race to save tires, as much as I could. Um, but he had the run on the top side, and once he got back around me, I guess I did use more than I wanted to. And then coming there at the end, I knew if I could get him on pit road, I was great on coming in on pit road. I was able to close in on him, come back out on his back bumper, and with the lap traffic coming into play, and the guys who are trying to get their lap back, and people who going into pit, I had to run harder, and then with running harder, I used the tires up more, so I couldn't get back around him. And it was just I pushed it too hard there towards the end, and I just kept losing and kept losing. And then I thought running the bottom, I could hook the bottom, kind of run the Kevin Harvick line, and I would make a tenth or two up, and then lose a tenth in 3 and 4. So I
No,
couldn't ever get back to him. That was a struggle tonight. Looks like a lot of people had that struggle. If you could run the bottom throughout the whole run, you save better tires. A lot of people ran up top, and it played out.
yeah. Well, congratulations on your runner-up finish. I know you wanted to snag that win to get locked into the playoffs. But you'll look forward to next week at Daytona Road Course. But before we
Oh
let you
boy.
go, well, I know you guys, at Mission One, you guys are gonna work together and whatnot. You might learn a few things before then, so don't sell yourself short. That's what I always say. But before we let you go, shout out and thank your sponsors.
First and foremost, one thing, concerns of police officers. Um, the title sponsor here, Hoopties, Planters Towing, Warrior Wraps. Um, all the guys at Mission One. We've, everybody on the team's pretty much new for the season or whatever, and exchanging strategy and talking it out. That all makes races. So I want to thank everybody from Mission One. We got a 1-2 finish tonight, and stage points was pretty good too. So we should make a lot up in the uh, team standings. So thank you guys here broadcasting, Brady. I know you kind of stepped out of your comfort zone and a little bit and done a little producing, a little broadcasting. Jacob, thank you for all you do too as well. Congratulations to Keith, and we'll go to next week and try to put another one together.
Well, we appreciate that, Robbie. We look forward to seeing you next week. And also, Monday, you're actually going to get double duty with two road courses next week. The Monday SimRacerHub.com series heads to Canadian Tire. So we'll catch up with you and see you next week.
Oh yeah, a lot better Canadian Tire than I am Daytona, but you know, just run a race, try to stay out of the trouble. If you can stay on the track and be consistent, you tend to finish decent. So if we can do that together for both Monday and Friday, might come out with a good solid finish.
Well, Jacob, there you have it. Our runner up finisher tonight, Mr. Robbie Richards, that 48 from Mission 1 Esports. A great strong run for him, Jacob. The like I said earlier, he's used to kind of accustomed, I would say, running those kind of fuel strategy races and whatnot, and it played right to his favor.
Absolutely, and he done a fantastic job. Uh, being able to be right there with his teammate. And speaking of his teammate, we got the animal and last season's champion. Got him a 2-win season, hopefully trying to make it more. It's the animal, Keith Bradley, in the booth with us here at Kansas. And Keith, I mean, I'm telling you, just quick question, just out of curiosity. We saw you coming around on the cool down lap right there. It looked like you was just barely moving. Was there a little bit less gas in the vehicle or in the truck that we didn't know about, or was you just playing around right there?
I was just taking a breather. A lot of people don't know, and I've not made it public. Guy I used to race go karts for in real life passed away this morning, so I took the moment, soaked it up. I couldn't really express the way I felt right then and there, so I just took a little time to myself. And hey, it feels good to be in victory lane. We were wrecked last weekend, and here we are.
Well, in all honesty, I've been in situations like that where, you know, you've lost a loved one or lost somebody that and just out of nowhere, win a race on iRacing. Some folks may seem like that doesn't seem like much, I guess you could say, but it does heal the comfort. But that I mean that's awesome, to hear, that you were able to get the win. Just kind of soaking all that up. But talk about that last, I mean, all that battling with your teammate Robbie Richards. Both of y'all look like y'all were throwing haymakers to a certain extent there for a little bit. Looked like you kind of got up there in the fence one time. When you got in the fence and Robbie got by you right before y'all went and pitted. Did you think it was over at that point? Did you think Robbie was just going to pull away and just go?
I mean, yeah, of course, I think everybody would think that. I mean, the good thing is I didn't hit it really hard. I more or less kissed it, brushed the wall just ever so slightly, enough to slow me down a little bit. And he got by, and then I crossed him back over. But no, it was great racing with Robbie. I think me and him was actually really close on speed. I think we're pretty equal. Um, he was back here pushing me, and I was pushing him, and it was good fun racing. From the front of the field to the mid pack of where I was at when we started. Racing for the lead at the beginning of the race with James Morris, that was really fun. I kind of snookered him into a move that I thought was pretty funny on how I got the lead there in the first stage. But no, it was really good. Um, when I smacked the wall there, I thought, damn, we might be done here. And then I somehow gathered up all the momentum down the back straightaway and was able to cross Robbie over.
Well, I mean, and you was able to pull it off and got the win here tonight at Kansas. So 2 wins on the season, one at New Hampshire and then one here tonight at Kansas. So going into next week, granted it's a road course, I mean, I was talking to Justin White a minute ago. He said that he hates them. I'll be honest with you, I hate them probably worse than anybody in the league, or in iRacing in general. I just can't stand them. I can't figure it out or whatever. But what is the expectations for the animal, last season's champion, Keith Bradley, going into the Daytona Road Course next week?
I'd say dominate like we did the last time we were there. I'll probably watch that broadcast just to study up a little bit. I think I ended up leading every lap but 5 or 6 of them. So I'd say a win would be great, but a top five would be even better, honestly, just to get out of there unscathed and hopefully not pinch some guys. So I mean, we'll see.
Well, we can't wait for that next week. That'll be next Friday night at 9. But Keith, before we let you go, do you have anybody that you would like to thank that made this win possible here tonight, bud?
Oh, absolutely. Pulse Poppers, Warrior Raps, Nazareth 360, everything that you guys do broadcast wise, it's great every week. Whether it's Monday night, Friday night, and any other day in between. Blanchard's Towing, most importantly, C.O.P.S for coming on board this season as the title sponsor, personal sponsor of mine, Indy Race Parts, and I want to give a big shout out to the Ryan family. We lost Barry Ryan this morning that I raced for, and this one was for him.
Absolutely. To the family of Barry Ryan, the win from Keith Bradley. Keith Bradley, 2 wins on the season, won it tonight here at Kansas. Keith, congratulations on an emotional win here this evening. And we'll see you at Daytona next week, bud.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
That was Keith Bradley. And, Brady, I mean, that right there, I mean, that just sums it up right there. That's awesome to see, Keith be able to get the win tonight. Uh, you know, with such, a heavy heart, racing with a heavy heart. Like I said, I've raced with a heavy heart myself, losing a loved one. And then, later that week, get that win. It just makes you feel just, uh, it doesn't, it doesn't fix it, but it definitely helps the healing process.
Oh, no doubt, Jacob. There's a lot of people that may not understand iRacing or get what we do week in and week out. I know there's a couple of people that I have around me that that ask questions a lot, what this and that. But at the end of the day, you call it a sim, you call it a video game. There's a big debate always about those two. uh, you know, Either way, it's real life guys that are, behind the computer screens, the TV screens, the monitors, the steering wheels, and it's a big brotherhood. These guys are in a group chat, they're on Discord, they talk every single day. It's real life guys. I've raced in dedicated wins to people that were lost or people that are going through issues. The drivers go through issues, right? They have families. Real life takes over. We see guys that miss races because of things that happen. And speaking of that, like Keith said, to the family, that lost somebody. Our condolences from the Nazareth family. Also, Devin Painter lost his father. He drives for Highline Racing. So, condolences to those families who have lost people recently. And it's just a group that sticks together, and everybody knows everybody's got each other's backs. And on top of that, we're all across the world. Ashley Dotson's in Australia. You got Chris Cinnamon in Canada. The U.S. guys, but we're all across 50 states, and we come here and race together to get away from real life problems or whatnot for these 2 hours. So it just takes a toll on a lot of people, and great job by Keith, to get that win and dedicate it to that family, and I know they're going to be excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's like I said, I've won races just like you have, Brady. Where I would, finish, a win. I mean, not necessarily league races. I mean, they were official races, but still, they do make you. It does help in the healing process. I've done the same thing with, um, I guess you could say, three angels that I got over in heaven that's watching over me, for that matter. But that's gonna wrap it up here this evening. Here at Kansas, Keith Bradley from Mission One Esports taking home the win here tonight. Put on a great show for us. Robbie Richards, basically domination, I guess you could say, from Mission One Esports. Robbie Richards getting second, Justin White getting that third spot. And next week's going to be the Daytona Road Course. That's going to be, I guess you could say, one of them wild card races. You're going to see some guys, that you may see up front that you don't necessarily see up front. Some of the guys that's their strong suit. For road course racing, you're going to see that next week here live on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday night. And then do not count out Monday night as the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. They're getting close to getting to get their playoff field. They're trying to get that grid finalized out. They got 2 races left in the season with Canadian Tire and Daytona International Speedway coming up here in the next 2 weeks for that. So, bunch of road courses going on next week within Nazareth. And hopefully you will tune in Monday night at 9 for the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series, as well as next Friday night for the C.O.P.S, the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. My name is Jake Reeves with Brady LaBeouf as the producer and helping me out announcing tonight. We want to congratulate the number 29 entry, Keith Bradley, on the win here tonight at Kansas. This has been a production of Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We will see you at Daytona next Friday night.